Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, I've got to give a shout out to the Bourbon Judge. The Bourbon Judge provided me with a sample of Found North Batch 8. This comes in at 124.4 proof. Now, I've got to give you guys the rundown. This is Sample Sunday, so you won't get a whole bunch of frills and jazz. You're just going to get what's in the glass and if you need to buy it. But this right here has it's made up of 4% of an 18 year. So on the front of the bottle, you're going to see 18 years. But it's got some older stuff in it, man. I had to get my phone because I can't remember all this stuff. So it says that they use a vibrant 18-year old rye barreled in ex-Madeira cask. They say this component makes up of 4% of the blend, but it dominates the profile. Then when you get further down, you see that they used corn, so a 22-year corn whiskey, a 23-year corn whiskey, both aged in new wood, a 23-year corn whiskey in ex-bourbon barrels, and it says their favorite, a 26-year corn whiskey aged in Hungarian oak, and then they finally rounded out with a 19-year aged in Hungarian oak. Now, they don't provide what the whiskey is. It just says, lastly, we used a 19-year Hungarian oak rye. So this is a 19-year-old rye aged in Hungarian oak. So that is a lot. That is a lot of old whiskey. Now I see why Found North's prices are so high, because when you get whiskey that old, I'm pretty sure they paid a pretty penny, try to say that again fast, for it. And they need to make their money back. So, like I said, shout out to Marcus, the Bourbon Judge, man, for providing me with the sample. This is my first Found North ever, first Found North on the channel. So cheers to you, Marcus. I really appreciate it. Let's get into the nose. The nose is light. Oh. I expected way more on the nose. It's almost coming across like a very light whiskey. Like, I really have to stick my nose in the glass to pick up anything. And the only thing I'm picking up so far when I stick my nose this deep in the glass is like a Sharpie marker note. Yeah, so I'm going to have to get into the palate. Then I'll do a second nosing, and then hopefully they'll bring out some more notes. That okay at 124.4 proof, didn't kick me in the nose, warmed me up a little bit going down, but it was flavorful, it was super oaky, and it's very, very reminiscent of the 16-year light whiskey that I have from Rye 3. Not the 68.61, but the 69.61. It's got very good flavors. They're just very quick, and it actually has a great mouthfeel. Like I said, the youngest whiskey in here is that rye whiskey at 18. Then you've got the 19. Then you've got the stuff that's 23, 22. I mean, it goes on and on and on. But man, all right, let's get back into the nose. I want to see if I can pull anything else out. Still very light on the nose, but there's a light vanilla coming out. A very light fruit note. Like a caramel covered, like strawberry almost. You see, I gotta get deep into the glass because it's so light. Like, I've got to stick my nose this deep into the glass to pick up any notes. Let's go back in for the second sip. Very good, very oaky. Almost all of the flavors hit you after you swallow it. I know it sounds kind of weird, but like, you get a very nice sweetness up front. You get a nice pop of a cherry up front. But all of those notes come alive after you like swallow and then inhale or exhale. It's like you get a whole bunch of fruit notes. That cherry becomes more lively. That vanilla just kind of really comes through, and then the finish is all leather. The finish is all leather. I don't get any char. And that might be because it said, you know, new oak, new oak, new oak. Of course, we know corn whiskey, well, American, well, light whiskey, in for American standards, shouldn't be aged in charred oak barrels. But, you know, this Found North, I don't know exactly where they're getting the whiskey from. It just told you how old it was, and it said new oak. It didn't say new charred oak, so I'm guessing. So for the people in the comments, I'm giving you what I'm thinking from what they put on their page. But anyway, to get back to the whiskey, it's good. It's really good. It's oaky. It's not super drying like the Rye 3 is. Like that Rye 3 is super drying, but the flavors, the bold flavors that it has. This is more on the lighter side. It's got a really good mouthfeel. Like I said, it's sweet up front. Then you take that sip, and then when you exhale, it's like all of those notes come out. The fruity notes, the cherry notes, the vanilla notes. Let's go back in for a third nosing and a third sip. Oh, wow. See, on that third nosing, now more of that caramel, heavy caramel is coming forward. Heavy caramel, heavy vanilla. Almost a little bit of maple too. Third sip. Started to pick up more of like a salted caramel on the palate. Vanilla hangs in the back. A little bit of citrus up front. Then it just finishes with leather. I didn't pick up as much cherry on the third sip as I did on the first and the second. So, look, thank you, Bourbon Judge, for providing this sample. Found North, very good, very good, very good. That price might keep some people away, but if you can find it for a decent price, I say pick it up. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Until next time.